I'm going to teach you how you can have complete and absolute faith in yourself, regardless of what happens in life. Now, you can use these as standalone tips and grab little bits and pieces, but I really want you to watch this video all the way through the end. So it becomes more like a strategy, a philosophy. It becomes much more synergistic when you use these things together. So watch it all the way to the end and don't miss out. This can literally transform your life. So let's jump right in. The first reason why people don't have absolute positive faith in themselves is they think that they're only successful when they do something perfect. Now, I want you to go out, I want you to find the person that told you this lie, that told you this fairy tale, and I want you to beat the hell out of them. They were lying to you, and this one single lie destroyed your life. It's destroying you, and you are the only thing that you have to work with. Perfectionism doesn't exist. They say practice makes perfect. No, practice only makes improvement. Nobody is perfect out there. There's no such thing as perfection. That's kind of a human thing, not even existing in nature. Nature doesn't know what perfection is. Nature just tries to get as damn close as it can. If you think that you're stronger and more powerful and better than the universe, then hey, maybe one day you'll reach perfection and you will be godlike. You'll be the first one to ever pull it off in the history of man. Don't try to be perfect. That was a complete and utter lie. Kind of think of it like this. In college, for the doctoral dissertation, we used to have a phrase. It said, "What's the best dissertation?" It's a done dissertation. It's not the best dissertation that was ever out there. It's the one that gets done. Because you just need to get this damn paper done so they can sign off and they can call you Dr. So-and-so. This doesn't have to be the last paper you're ever going to do, so it doesn't have to be the best paper you're ever going to do. This book that it's going to become like 300 pages long or longer, and they're going to put it up on a shelf. It's going to collect dust, and nobody will ever crack the spine on it. After your doctoral dissertation and you look at that research paper, nobody's ever going to look at it again. Doesn't have to be perfect. But more than half of all doctoral level students drop out of their dissertation defense because they feel like they can't get it perfect. It's not good enough. Where if they put it before the board, in probably 75% of cases, they were wrong and they'd have passed it. You know what would have happened the other 25% of the time? They would have sent it back, told you exactly what to revise, and said, hey, if you do these 3 or 4 things, make some quick revisions, go ahead and send it back to us. We'll approve it. We don't have any other objections. Congratulations, doctor. That's the way you got to go through life. That, hey, getting it like 80% as good as it's going to get and moving on to the next thing, that's a great way to do it. Now, if you want to drill down and you want to spend more time on things and develop true mastery, that's fine. But it's a process. I'm going to tell you about that next. You ready? Want to develop true mastery? Be a master of whatever art you're trying to master? Here's what you need to do. You need to be willing to suck. Here's the stages you go through. Step 1, you suck. Step 2, you suck less. Step 3, you're bad, but not awful. Step 4, you're okay. Step 5, hey, you're pretty good. And you can go 6, 7, 8. You can become great and excellent and all the way up to true and utter mastery. But you got to hit every single step along the way. Do you remember what step 1 was? I don't know what I'm doing and I suck. Most people want to skip over that one. No. You always start at a knowledge level pretty much around 0. And you do things the worst you're ever going to do it the first time you do it. And then it gets better and better and better and better. Here's the key to all success. Start, adjust, don't quit. And you'll win every single time. The only time you lose is when you give up. People say, oh, I'm a loser. No, you're somebody that quits early. There's no such thing as a loser. I've never seen anybody that couldn't do, a simple basic task if I showed it to them over and over and over again. And you know what? Virtually every task is simple if you break it down to its component parts. Ready for your next tip? Let's jump right in. You're going to love this tip. Get paper and pencil ready. Write this down. You ready? Lower your standards. Hello? Lower your standards. If you're not having complete and utter faith in yourself, it's because your standards are too damn high. We just talked about perfectionism. That's too high a standard. So we've got to lower it. I mean, don't put it in the basement, but give yourself a reasonable range that an average person could hit. Hopefully you're an average person. Adjust it to your skill set and you'll always hit the target. You're trying to, make yourself get all the way up to perfection and you're starting at the bottom. And every step of the way until you hit perfection, you feel like you failed. No, we just said you have to go every step along the way. That's the journey, and that is perfection. You trying something, doesn't quite work, you tweak it a little bit, you make it a little better, maybe ask for some advice, you watch some YouTube videos, you change it a little bit, you try something else, you try. It's the experimental method. Keep going, you'll keep getting better. It's unavoidable, but lower your standards. That way you always hit them. Now, your standards can increase over time, and that's great, but always make them within the next reasonable range. That way you'll feel fantastic instead of feeling like a loser between now and when you hit, perfection, which we said you could never hit. Lower your standards. Want to hear something really weird? If you want to be more successful, you know how you do it? You dramatically increase your failure rate. You got to try things over and over and over and over again. Think of it like the worst salesman in the world. I was probably the worst salesman in the world. They put me on phone calls and gosh, I was terrible on the phone. I wasn't that great in person. And I didn't know much about sales. I was just a nice guy trying to tell you about the features and saying, geez, you wouldn't want to buy from me, would you? And my success rate was horrible. So it hurt my self-esteem. So what did I do? I started dreading making those phone calls. So guess what? Even though I had the list in front of me, I started making less and less and less. And guess what? Because I was trying less and less times, and I was getting more and more nervous the whole time, my failure rate went through the roof. And ultimately, I was just about to crash. And I remember I was talking to one guy on the phone, and I said, tell me in confidence, am I the absolute worst salesman you've ever heard in your life? And we just kind of had a laugh about it. He said, oh, no, you're not the worst, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, it's reversing the thing on the customer. They were trying to make me feel better about it. But I'll tell you, when I finally blurted that out and spoke the truth that, hey, I suck, and had another human being with a little bit of compassion come back at me and say, no, it's okay. You just got to practice to get better. And that's what you got to do. You got to practice to get better. I remember Alex Hermosi, people would come up to him and they clap and they pat him on the back and they want to give him multi-million-dollar consulting fees to teach them how to sell. He says, here's how I learned to sell. I was just like Professor Paul. I sucked. But I did another call and another call and another call and another call. And I did it for two reasons. One, I knew if I kept doing something, I'd get better. And three, I was hungry, I was broke, and I was going to starve. So even a broken clock is right twice a day. A good salesman might sell 1 out of 3 people. They're great salesmen. That's fantastic. But notice they still failed 2 out of 3 times. So don't get me wrong. Now, I wanted to get up where I could make 1 out of 10 sales. I was probably making like 1 out of 100. So you know what I had to do every day? I had to make at least 200 calls because I needed 2 calls. I needed 2 sales every single day to survive on. So that's what Alex did. But then 1 in 100 became 1 in 90, 1 in 80, 1 in 70, 1 in 50, 1 in 30, 1 in 20, 1 in 10, 1 in 5. You can see where this is going. If he just was a good student of noticing on each call what was working, what wasn't, and then when there wasn't something that was working, replace it. Try something different in its place. They call that A/B testing. Try something different and just change that little bit. Keep what works, throw out what doesn't, try again, try again, try again. That's how you gain excellence. Even the greatest salesman, when they go into a company and they try to write a sales script for you, you're like, oh, this guy is the greatest salesman in the world. This, script will sell 1,000,000 copies. Just read this script. Oh, no, no, no. That guy knows, even though maybe he's, Alex Hormozy, he's the greatest salesman in the whole world, can sell, snow to Eskimos. He knows that that script is going to fail, and he's probably got to tweak that script at least 100 times. Then he says, that's the one. That's the perfect script. Well, how come if he's the best salesman in the whole world, he couldn't do that on the first shot? Because the first salesman, the best salesman in the world, is the guy that tests everything. Notices what's working, notices what doesn't, replaces what doesn't work, tries something else, and then takes the best strategies. That's something every human being can do, including you. Try it. It works every single time you do. Now, listen very carefully. This may be the most important tip that I give you. This is how you have complete and utter faith in yourself. You believe in yourself on a deep, deep level. Here's why you do it. Because you're the only person on your team. People say, I work for myself. There's just me, myself, and I, just the three of us. I'll tell that to somebody on the phone and they'll laugh. Oh, me, myself, and I. Oh, I get it, Professor Paul. That's funny. But that's it. That is my team. Me, myself, and I. If I'm going to succeed in life, that's the whole team. Why would I, through all kinds of different mental gymnastics, and this is why people don't have faith in themselves. They do these mental gymnastics where they figure out, oh, I'm not good enough. I failed at this. I'm bad. I got some kind of genetic disorder where I can't do this thing. My brain just doesn't function like that. They got all kinds of excuses about why there's something inherently wrong with themselves. And they think that the way to get ahead in life is to not believe in themselves. Now, if I asked you out loud, I said, hey, is your strategy to get ahead in life to not believe in yourself? You would say, no, Professor Paul, that would be stupid. But if I looked you deep in the eye and I said, do you absolutely, positively believe in yourself? About 80% of people would say, no, I don't believe in myself, certainly not 100%. And you know what the other 20% were doing? Yeah, they were lying. They were lying their butts off. They were lying. Because most people don't believe in themselves. I believe in myself because of all the tools, strategies, and tips I'm giving you right here. Because I don't have to be perfect. Because I lower my standards. Because I'm willing to try over and over and over again. See, when I say I believe in myself, I believe that when I try a new skill, I suck. But then I get better. I believe when I try something, I will fail over and over and over again. Maybe dozens, maybe hundreds of times. But I only need to succeed once. And then everybody will say, wow, how'd you do that? A miracle. I'm just magic. They don't know the magic of trying over and over and over again. That is the magic. I'm okay with all these things. I don't expect perfection from myself. I expect the opposite. I laugh about it. I have fun with it. I enjoy my failures. It's not a Rocky story when you start up at the top and you work your way down to the bottom. You got to start the bottom, and every single failure is just part of the story that makes the success great. If you say, hey, I woke up one day and life handed me everything, the end, do you think they'll buy the movie rights to that? No. You've got to have that path. And let me ask you something. Whoever sold you on the idea that you shouldn't believe in you? You have to. I want you to sit down, meditate, write things out on paper, scroll things in your journal, just sit there and sip your coffee and look out into the distance and figure out why it is so crucial that you believe in you. And absolutely, positively, scientifically, it is insane to not believe in yourself. You are the only thing you have to work with, and here's your job in life. I don't care how bad things are out in the environment. I don't care what your childhood was like. I don't care how many people attacked you, worked against you, tortured you, did this, that, and the other thing. How many people didn't support you, how many people didn't show up. I don't care about any of that. I care that you show up for you, that you believe in you. That you believe you can make efforts over and over again until you gain mastery and you get a result. That's all you have to believe. And you are the only thing that you have to work with. Why would you ever work against yourself? That's like putting an anchor around your neck when you're trying to run up a hill. You're going to either choke yourself out or it's going to become too much of a strain. You need to work for you. Anytime you aren't working for you, I'm a therapist. I can tell you, you just went clinically insane. You always work for you. You always believe in you. I believe myself when I go out and do any task. I believe I'm going to try. I believe I'm going to get a result. And I believe if that one doesn't work, I can improve it and I can do it again. I can't not believe that. And that's all I need. So if this was helpful for you, go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you get all our different trainings. Look through our playlist. We've got so much more for you. This is all for you, to help you, whether it's with your mental health, whether it's with your, recovery from addiction. I want to be there for you as part of your journey to help you. Now, I can only be there if you liked and subscribed. That way, I'll show up and you'll see me in your YouTube and you'll be able to get more trainings. But especially hit those playlists because everything you could ever need, want, or desire is in there. I marked it down to free. I sent it to your house. Least you can do is show up and watch it. My name is Professor Paul. Look in the description. We got more free resources for you and great stuff down there. And I'll see you in my very next training.